Okay, this is our regular division work for today. It's a review plus a little bit of new stuff. If you are finding that you know how to do every single thing in division so far, you know how to do long division, you know how to do remainders, that's super easy for you, then you should be doing the other video today, not this one. Okay, but most of you should be doing this one today. This is regular grade 4 division work. So can I get you to copy down division? And we won't put down that word, but you can put down division, and we'll put today's date, which is June 3rd. Wow, June. Oh, man. Okay, so copy that down, division for June 3rd. And if you want to, a couple of you have been using colors and things that you have at home to make your math just a little bit more interesting. So go for it if you want to use colors and stuff as we're doing our drawings here, okay? All right, write down number 1. And you can do this with a pencil. I'm going to do it with color. But I am going to make 4 across in a row. And I'm going to do that 3 times. Okay, so pause the video until you have that drawn. All right, we have an array. We have an array with 3 rows going across. There's our 3 rows going across. And we have 4 rows going down, okay? Or sorry, columns. So this way is called a row. We have something that goes across. And when we have something that goes up and down, we call that a column. Okay, what I would like you to do beside is I would like you to see if you can write all 4 fact family sentences that describe this array. Okay, this is called an array. Okay, and so you should have 2 multiplication sentences and you should have 2 division sentences. So something times something equals something, something times something equals something, something divided by something equals something, and something divided by something equals something. But they all have to be based on this. Okay, so pause the video and see how many sentences you can come up with. All right, let's look at our multiplication ones first. So let's see what we've got. Let's look at rows and columns because those are groups. And let's see how many groups we have. Well, we can do this. We can do 1, 2, 3 equal groups. They all have the same number. So 3 groups times how many in each group? Each group has 4. We have 3 groups of 4. And if we added all of those up together, we could count by 4s. 4, 8, 12. We should have 12. Now we could look at it a different way. We could say this is a group. This is, actually I'll do this with a different color so you guys can see that a little bit better. Okay, let's do it this way. Here's a group. Here's a group. Here's a group. And here's a group. Okay, so that would be 4 groups of 3 because there's 3 in each group. And we get 12. And that's what our fact family is supposed to look like. We can take our multiplication fact, flip the numbers around, we get the same answer. All right, next one. Now, when we're doing our fact family, we start with the big number and we should have 12 divided by 3 in each group equals 4 groups altogether. And 12 divided by 4 groups, we could do that differently, equals 3 in each group. Okay, so give yourself a check mark if you got all of those fact families. Now you might say to me, oh, Mrs. Rossloff, I could have done 2 times 6. Yes, 2 times 6 equals 12, but that is not the way the array was arranged. It was arranged in 3 groups and 4 in each group, or 4 and 3. So this is a true fact, but it does not apply to that picture. Okay, what I'd like you to do for number 2 now is I would like you to draw an array that matches. So you're going to draw dots in rows and columns for number 2 that matches this multiplication sentence. Okay, so somewhere beside that, you're going to have to either draw 3 rows of 6 or 6 rows of 3. Okay, it'll work either way. Okay, so pause the video. Okay, here we go. So now it could look one of 2 ways. So it could look like this. So we have 3, let's do 3 rows of 6. So there's 3 rows of 6. Or you could have drawn it like this, 6 rows of 3, depending on if this first number means groups or the number of things in a group, okay? But either one of those is correct. We have 18 altogether. All right, what I'd like you to do underneath that now is I would like you to write the multiplication sentence that matches this same array. So pause the video and write out the multiplication or the division sentence. All right, so we start with the big number when we're doing divisions. We start with all of that, 18 divided by, let's divide it by 3 in a group. So 3 in a group equals how many groups? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We did 6 circles. Okay, and you could have had this. You could have had these numbers switched around. Okay, so give yourself a check mark for that. And we'll move on to the next page. Okay, what I would like you to do right now is write down number 3, and we're going to do this division sentence right here. 72 divided by 8 equals 9. I'm telling you the answer, so copy that down. And then beside it, what I would like you to do is I'd like you to write that same exact sentence, but this time I'd like you to write it using a division box. You're going to have to think about which number goes inside the box, which number goes to the left of the box, and which number goes on top of the box. So pause the video and see if you can take your best guess. Okay, whenever we're using a division box, the number that is being divided, the big number, goes inside the box. So 72. And when we say it, we say 72 divided by, the next number was 8. That number goes right there to the left. 72 divided by 8 equals 9. And that 9 needs to go right over top of the 2. Okay? So when we're reading this sentence, we say 72 divided by 8 equals 9. When we read this, we say the exact same words. 72 divided by 8 equals 9. Okay, so let's look at this one. So read this one with me. Here we go. 72 divided by 8 equals 9. Now read this one with me. I can hear you even though you're at your house and I'm at mine. Do it with me. Here we go. 72 divided by 8 equals 9. Teachers have eyes in the back of their heads, and they have ears that hear forever. Bet you didn't know that. Okay, number 4. All right, this time I'm going to write it using a division box, and I want you to write it the original way that we usually write it. So I'm going to write 32 divide, whoops, I'm going to do that differently. 32 divided by 8 equals 4. Okay, so write that out. And then I want you to write it out this way. Okay, pause the video until you have that done. Okay, we start with the big number, so 32 divided by, which number do we say next? And yes, it would be true. We could say the numbers in either order and this would be correct. But we are trying to say it the same way as this. So we say 32 divided by 8. So we always divide it by this number equals, the answer is on the top, equals 4. Okay, number 5. All right, now we had a question on the page of homework yesterday that asked you to prove if something was correct or incorrect. So let's do a couple of these together. So let's do number 5. We're going to prove if this is correct or incorrect. So here we go. Copy this out with me. So let's do 28 divided by 4 equals 5. Okay, so copy that out. And now we are going to prove this is right, or we're going to disprove it. We're going to say it's wrong. So these two numbers right here, when they are multiplied, should end up with this number, right? Multiplication and division work together. So let's do that. 4 times 5. And what is the answer to 4 times 5? 20. So is this the correct answer? Is any of it the correct answer? No, it isn't. So this is an incorrect division statement. So we're going to put a big X there. So we're proving if it's right or we're proving if it's wrong. We proved it's wrong because 4 times 5 does not make 28. Okay, let's try another one like that. So number 6. So you're going to copy this down. 31 divided by 8 equals 3. Now, how can we use multiplication to prove that's right or prove it's wrong? Which two numbers would we multiply to figure out if this is right or wrong? Okay, write those two numbers down. Okay, so it's 8 times 3, or you could say 3 times 8, doesn't matter, we're just checking. What is 8 times 3 or 3 times 8? The correct answer is, you remember it? 24. So does this make sense? 31 divided by 8 is 3. If it makes sense, it should be the same as this. 8 times 3 is 24. That is not the same answer, okay? So this is an incorrect division statement. Okay, let's try number 7. 24 divided by 6 equals 4. Copy that down. Now, those of you that have memorized your times tables, your life is so much easier, which is why I was pushing and pushing and pushing you to memorize your times tables since January, because now you're looking at that and you immediately know if that is right or wrong. So think about your times tables. 4 times 6 equals 24. So if 4 times 6 is 24, that means 24 divided by 6 is 4. Look at that. These are all members of the same fact family. We have 24, we have 6, and we have 4. All these numbers are related. This is a true statement. So 4 times 6 is 24. That is true. 24 divided by 6 is 4. So this is a true statement. We're going to put a check mark beside that. Okay, I'm going to give you one that I want you to try on your own. So you're going to copy this out with me. 27 divided by 9 equals 3. And then I want you to write the multiplication sentence that's going to prove it's right or prove it's wrong beside. Pause the video and you're going to choose whether to put a check mark there or whether to put an X there. Okay? And pause your video. Okay, 9 times 3. The answer to 9 times 3 is 27. So we know that this is true. Okay. So that was just a little review of the question that we did the other day. All right, number 9. I would like you to write out the missing numbers in this fact family. Okay, so you're going to copy this out with me, but there's going to be some numbers that are missing, and you're going to have to figure out what they are and fill them in. Okay, so copy that all out. Remember, this is a fact family. So once you figure out this one, you should be able to complete the rest of the fact family. Okay, pause and try to do as much of that as you can. Okay, something times 6 equals 30. So if you know your 5 times tables, you know that 5 times 6 is 30. The next statement should be the reverse of that. 6 times 5 equals 30. Now, if we know our multiplication, we should be able to figure out our division. So 6 times 5 is 30, means 30 divided by 5. What is the remaining digit? It's 6. We haven't used that yet. And when we write our last division sentence, we again start with a big number, and this time we switch the other two numbers around. Divided by 6 equals 5. Okay? All right, and number 10, I'm going to write, we're just going to do like a little drill here. So as fast as you can, I'll show you how this is going to work. You're going to write the times table that pops into your head when you see this, okay? So here we go. We're going to do easy times tables so that everybody knows them. So 12 divided by something equals 3. Okay, as fast as you can, write the times table that pops into your head when you look at that. So in your head, you should be thinking 3 times something. 3 times something is going to make 12. What is it? 3 times 4 equals 12. That's right. And some of you might get confused and do this. You might put the 12 in there. But look, 12 is our big number. And think about where our big numbers go. For division, they go at the beginning. For multiplication, they go at the end. Okay? If you look up here at this one, look at where the big numbers are. At the end of multiplication, at the beginning of division. Okay? All right. So the answer for this one would be 4. Okay, I'm going to put down number 11. As soon as I write it, I want you to quickly write the multiplication sentence that pops into your head. Okay? And go. Okay, 16 divided by 4, so that means 4 times something is going to equal 16. I know my 4 times table is 4 times 4 is 16. So 16 divided by 4 is 4. Okay? All right, and number 12, we're going to do a little bit of this practice. If you were at our Teams meeting on Tuesday, we did just a little introduction to this, and we're going to do a tiny introduction to it together as well. And that is what happens when we want to divide a number, but it doesn't work out exactly. Okay? So here we go. We are going to divide. Let's take a look here. Let's do 18 divided by 5. Oops. Yeah, let's do that. 18 divided by 5. Okay, so again, go crazy with your colors if you want to. All right, here we go. So I'm going to draw 18 just X's, okay? But I'm going to draw them in groups of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 because I'm dividing by 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now how many? So I've got 5. I've got 10. Let's do another group of 5. 15. I'm supposed to have 18. So I'm going to keep going here. 3 more. Okay, now I've got 18 X's all together. And I want to divide that into groups of 5. So there's a group of 5 right there. There's a group of 5 right there. And there's a group of 5 right there. So I can't make another group. I don't have enough. So how many groups was I able to make? 3. How do we show, though, that we have something left over? Well, we have this word called remainder. And remainder means leftover. Okay, it's just a fancier word for leftover. So how many do we have left over? We've got 3 left over. So we use the first letter of remainder, and we do a capital R beside our answer. And we say how many that we had left over. We have 3 left over. So I could make 3 groups of 5, but I had a remainder of 3. Okay, and that's exactly what the picture shows. So 18 divided by 5, I can make three groups, but I have a remainder of 3. So make sure you have that all copied out before you go over to the next one. I keep forgetting what number I'm on here. Okay, number 13. We're going to do another one that doesn't work out perfectly. There's going to be some things left over. But this one we're going to mark this way as a division sentence instead of the way that you're used to. This is our long division box here. Okay, so let's do 22 and let's divide it by 10. We're going to figure out how many groups we can make and how many are left over. And if you're good at thinking about math in your head, you already know it. Okay, we have to count up to 22, but we're going to do groups of 10. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to make circles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There, I've got 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And now I've got 2 more makes 22. So that's how many things I have. Okay, pause the video until you have that drawn out. Okay, so let's see, how many groups could I make? There's one group of 10. I can for sure make one group. And there's another group of 10 right there. I can't make a third one. I don't have enough. So I can make 2 groups of 10. How many do I have left over? I have 2 left over. What's the word that we use for that? Remainder. And so right beside the answer, I put 2 groups, remainder. I just put that R, 2. So 2 remainder 2. And if you knew your 10 times tables, you would think, yeah, I know I can make 2 groups. And I know that then I'm going to have 2 left over. So that one you could do probably quite easily in your head. Okay. And the challenge for everybody today, but I would like everyone to try this. Get your mom or dad to help you if you can't remember the steps to do it. But I would like you to try to solve one of these. You could write it out this way, or you could write it out this way. Doesn't matter to me. Okay. So here's the question that I would like you to try to figure out. I would like you to try to figure out 19 divided by 3. And I would like you to figure out the answer. And the answer is going to have a certain number of groups, and then it's going to have a remainder. So this is how you should be writing out your answer. But I would like you to draw the picture underneath. So draw your 19 circles or your 19 stars. Circle your groups of 3, okay? And then see how many are left over. See how many groups you can make and see how many are left over. Okay, so that's the question I'm going to be looking at to make sure that you're trying it. Don't just leave it. That's the question I'm going to be looking for. Okay, good work, everybody.